All right, guys. Well, we're round 2 here at this 2011-2012 season preview. This time, Skyhawk edition style here at the Hawk's Nest in West Madison, West Virginia. Stomping grounds of somebody. I don't know who this guy is. But Tony Lane here, Jon Foster. As always, we're at wvsportsnet.com. What you're dealt with for your comical and high school basketball needs. You know, you can always do it here on wvsportsnet.com. But, well, John, we're back here at a place with a lot of memories from within the past year. We're here at Scott High School, as many people know, in the southern West Virginia area. Well, probably much across the whole state. They were reigning so close to getting that AA state championship last year. They were state runner-up to a very formidable foe, Oak Hill, with Caleb Fright. Very, very solid team they lost to. A lot of people said they were the number 1 team in the state. But if I'm a Skyhawk, I'm even hungrier. Wouldn't you be?
Oh, yeah. I mean, you heard the Matt Dolan and Jesse Belcher talk about, you know, not only wanting to get back there, but want to actually top the hill, you know, and get over the hump. Now, what happened here last year was really, really special because Scott's not known as a basketball school, and what Jason Kingery was able to do with, you know, his 2 twin towers was the first time they've had any kind of success like that, probably with, you know, 100 years of the program's history. So, really special, and I think that, you know, when we talked to them 2 gentlemen earlier, you know, they had the right idea, and they've been there, and they know what it'll take. So we'll be interesting to see if this year, if they kept deferring that leadership when you were asking them, you know, but hopefully they can bleed that out to their younger teammates, and they can make that run back to Charleston.
They definitely have a very experienced backcourt, and that's really going to be the backbone of the Scott team, and a lot of that weight is going to fall on Dolan and Belcher, but also sophomore guard Cody Brown, who's had a lot of high expectations, and not a lot of freshmen get quality varsity minutes. And that young man got some very quality minutes last year, even in the close games against Wyoming East and Bluefield. I mean, and if you haven't seen them games, you need to check those out. And against Poca, them are 3 unbelievable games that will probably be in everyone's memories. And that's just, you got that feeling like, you know, they were almost destined. It was almost destiny or fate for them to go do some unbelievable things last year, because you take away the setbacks to Point Pleasant and Sissonville, or as Coach Kingery liked to call it, the humbling losses that kind of get you back down on earth. And also, speaking of Kingery, you know, he's not here anymore. Right. Now in comes Coach Cabell. We tried to get him for an interview, and he's taking his job so seriously, even turned down us. Can you believe that?
Yeah, absolutely.
He's breaking down film up there for his boys right now. It's he's ready. He's hungry too. I know he's definitely ready to pick that up where Kingery left this program.
Yeah. Well, you know, one thing Coach Cabell said under Kingery for 4, 5, 6 years, somewhere in that range. I'm not exactly sure of the time, but he was able to look at him as a mentor, and he's seen how he run his program. And there's so much more to being a high school basketball coach than just coaching the game. You know, you don't really realize it until, you know, you get in situations like me and Tony, and we get to see him in here. You know, it's going on 9 o'clock on a Friday night. You know, no offense, Coach Cabell's 25. You know, he's my age. I'm sure that there's not a whole lot of 25-year-olds that take their job that serious. You know, and you see him out, and they're doing fundraisers, and, you know, he's trying to get the best thing for his boys. And I really think that being under Kingery, you know, he's like I said, he saw what it took to win, and he knows how to communicate to the guys. So I think he has a real advantage for his age. And, you know, for the most part, I think these guys look up to him. You know, they were talking a little bit of us off camera, and they said, listen, Coach Kingery was pretty tough on us, but he was nothing like Coach Cabell. And I don't really know how to take that yet. You know, we'll see as the season goes on.
Well, interesting. Dolan says I think he said in his interview that he subs out the chewing out for the running out.
Right.
So personally, I'm sticking with the chewing.
Yeah. Well, I mean, sometimes you get, you know, that 15 to 18-year-old attention span. You get it best when you chew them out. But, you know, if you run their guts out, sometimes, Tony, that might help. You know, every coach has different tendencies, and we'll be able to see this season as we'll cover the Hawks. We'll see if it prevails.
And one thing they did say is they definitely have a lot of respect for Coach Cabell. Like Dolan said, God bless them with Cabell getting hired. So that just kind of puts it in big words right there, how excited they were to have one of their own keep there as the as a Skyhawk.
Right.
You know, he was on the 08-09 state tournament team as a coach, and now last year. So he's got 2 state tournament runs under his belt as an assistant. So he knows what it takes to get there, and we'll just have to see how it really plays over and carries over to his players.
Right, and, you know, he's equipped himself with a staff other than Stephen McComas that was there last year. He's added Marcus Linville and Josh Sheets. and both of those guys are his age or younger. So you're looking at, three guys actually, middle 20s, leading these young group of guys, and that's really impressive to me that they come out and say, yes, we have respect for these guys due to them being so close in age.
Right. And Linville, actually, I think he was on that state tournament staff last year as one of the assistants. Yeah. So he's also got, some much valued experience in McComas. He's been around Scott basketball for a very long time.
Well, now that he's with Coach Cabell, his role stepped up a little bit more, and he's a little bit more involved. Yeah, but he was part of that team.
Right, yeah. He's definitely one of his go-to assistants this year for sure. And he's put in a lot of work, and, you got to have a hard-working assistant coaching staff to help you out, because, a head coach can only go so far by himself, but, you're only as good as sometimes people say as the help underneath you.
That's right.
So they definitely got a lot of things in place. They definitely got the winning taste in their mouth, and I know everyone around here is hungry. This community was absolutely crazy last year. We saw it down at Logan. We were able to do the radio broadcast for the sectional and regional games, and then the regional up there at the Madison Civic Center. Those are three of the loudest environments I've ever heard in a high school basketball game. And, I was able to be a part of a student as a state tournament rum in Ohio, when there was some big down at the Schottenstein Center, and it got pretty crazy down there. But it was nothing like it was down there at the Logan Fieldhouse when Scott and Tug Valley went toe-to-toe. That was one of the craziest games I've ever seen.
That was a heavyweight fight, and Tony, we pride ourselves on stats, and you were talking about it was almost like destiny. The last 10 games that the Skyhawks played running into the state championship game, they went 7-3. And the 3 losses were the ones that you spoke about, the humbling losses. I mean, they went to Logan Fieldhouse, defeated Tulsa, and a very, very good Tug Valley team that they went toe-to-toe with. They had to play Sissonville for the 3rd time, and just kept going. Polka had to play them again once they got to Charleston, Point Pleasant. And it goes to show you how tough the Cardinal Conference is when they put Scott, Polka, and Point Pleasant in the state tournament.
Yeah, 3 teams is unbelievable for one conference.
Absolutely.
They're fortunate they actually were able to spread over 2 different regions there. Yeah. But I know it dominated this region that Scott came out of, as well as with Polka, I think, was in the other part of that region. Okay, thank you.
2 different sections.
It was my first go around. I'm still learning the regions and stuff.
They've redone that here just a couple years ago, and they kind of labeled it as like the super regions. It wasn't like that when I was in school, and now they get the top 2 teams out of the region advance.
Right. So. Alrighty. Well,
one more stat.
Yeah,
I was
absolutely.
thinking about. We were talking about the transition from Jason Kingery to Nick Cabell. They didn't lose a game at home last year, Tony. They went 14-0 at Scott and also at the Madison Civic Center because they play some of their games up there. And the Coalfield Shootout, which you're getting ready to tell us about.
Oh, yeah, the Coalfield Shootout coming up next weekend, December 9th and 10th, up at the Madison Civic Center. If you get on this, you definitely need to come check out the action for yourself. It's a great team. They got 2 teams out of Virginia, Manassas, which has an enrollment, I believe, of at least over 4,000 students. And they're taking on Logan AAA Howard Powerhouse here in the state. I heard maybe Trevor Andrews has been ruled ineligible at Logan. That's a pending story. So, but that's going to be a game. Hurley County, Virginia's coming up, and then we also going to have Tulsa with Jacob Copley, who's going to be considered one of the top players in AA this year.
Absolutely.
And that's Scott's opening test on Friday night. The tournament goes Friday and Saturday. Other great local schools and stuff like that. So, we're just really excited for it.
Well, one thing that's going to be different this year in the Coalfield Shootout is they're going to play Friday night and Saturday night. Not all teams will participate Friday night, but Scott, I'm pretty sure they open up their season that Friday against Tower Consolidated.
And then Tulsa Saturday.
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure there'll be 2 games Friday night. I don't know if Logan elected to play Friday night.
Logan's playing both Friday and Saturday because Logan's playing both Manassas and Hurley, Virginia, if I'm not mistaken. Hatchers, he's always likes to play that out-of-state competition. Bring the little West Virginia pride back.
Right, yeah, and that made his team a lot better, Tony, because I didn't really think they were that good last year. And eventually we'll get down to Logan and be able to talk to Hatcher and see, what his squad entails this year. But you can hear the basketballs firing up. Scott's just let out a film session that's lasted about 45 minutes, and we got players trickling back in the gym to shoot the rock.
Yeah, they've probably had practice for 3 hours and a half-hour film session. They're down here ready to get to it on the open gym time here. We're going to let them get back to it, and looks like we may be able to catch up with Coach Cabell as I said, film session's over. So we'll be right back here on wvsportsnet.com. Tony Lane, John Foster,
Sports Voice of the Valley.